What's up guys, Corv here, and welcome back to another deck list. This is the updated version of my Danger Darkworld deck, and today I will be showing you my deck list as well as let's get right into that, starting with main deck. Now before we start, I do want to say that I decreased the amount of cards instead of increasing it. I said I was going to go up to 50, but after playtesting the 50 card deck, I found that going down to 40 was actually the best option. But I played 41, and you'll see why once I get to all the monsters. Starting off, I play 3 Grapha, Dragon Lord of Darkworld. Now, I have seen people play 2 of this and then replace the third with a third Rainbow. But I only play 2 Rainbow because 3, I don't really need 3 Rainbow. The Graphas are a better card to have, and the Rainbow isn't a once per turn search, so even cutting it down to 1 would work. I play 2 just in case. One of them gets banished or something by like, oh shoot, I forgot which card does that. But anyways, if one of these gets banished, I always have the backup. Next up, I have the 3 Genta, Gateman of the Darkworld. Must play 3 of a search for gates and a summon on banishment of gates. So basically a free body on board, really good. Followed up by another must-have 3 of is 3 Snow. When it's discarded, it's basically a Rhoda for the entire Darkworld archetype. So really good to have 3 of that. Next up, I have 3 Brow. Now, people have said that Brow was one of the worst cards to have in a Danger Darkworld deck, but in the case of the way that I play this, Turbo Hand Loop, Brow is probably one of the best cards to have for extra draw power just in case. And then follow that with 1 Beige for the extra special summon off a discard, just in case you need a rank 4 with these 2, like Abyss Dweller, best extra deck monster in the format right now against tiers and stuff like that. Follow that with 2 Silva, another summon on discard, but also a hand loop if discarded by Ceruli or the Fusion monster. The Fusion Grapha, because that will change your opponent's card effects. Just need to fix this because this is getting in my way. I'll edit this out. Hear that, editor Corv? Remember to edit that out. Next up, I follow this with 2 Ceruli, and this actually finishes up the Darkworld monster package of the deck. Now, some of you are probably wondering why I don't play Parl. Parl, I have found, rarely ever useful for me. The only thing it would really be useful for is resummoning Ceruli, or Gold could also do the same thing, but basically I never really need to resummon a Ceruli because I play 2. I tried playing 3, but that ended up being way too bricky and all that. So 2 is a good number, and 3 is just a massive brick. And no Parl, because it rarely comes up, and it's a hard once per turn. So if you were to play Parl, just play 1 and maybe replace maybe 1 Brow, a Beige, or 1 of the Ceruli. But in my case, this is what I go with. Moving on to the Danger package of the deck. Must play 3 of in case of danger. 3 Danger Nessie. Ooh, that was a little bit damaged. Let's just cover that up with the better looking ones. 3 Nessie. Summon if not hit. If it's discarded, you get to search any danger. I play 13 dangers. Follow this up with 2 Bigfoot. Summon on not getting hit and discard to pop. Also level 8 with 2 Thunderbirds. Now, if you get both of these on board, rank 8 right off the bat. Really good. Also a pop of back row and discard, so more of going second danger. Followed by the 1 of dangers, which is Chupacabra. Oh, I said 1 of dangers, but actually I have a 3 of right here. Mothman. Mothman because if he is hit, you discard him and you get to draw 1, discard 1, activating your Darkworld effects or another danger effect. So basically, no matter what, you're either drawing a card or drawing and discarding. So Mothman's a 3 of. Followed by the last 2 1-ofs, Danger Tsuchinoko and Danger Jackalope. Summon no matter what, summon from deck. Like, why wouldn't you play Jackalope? Best danger. Probably why it's limited. Well, one of the best dangers. I'd say Nessie's also a pretty good one. Okay, next up, we have my 1 of random monsters, not really random. My Salamander Catalyzer. because reveal this another fiend, discard the other fiend, any Dark World, is a fiend. Discard the Dark World, summon this, and you get the discard effect of the Dark World. Now, you're about to see the reason why my deck is at 41 instead of 40. I made the addition of Neko Main King. Neko Main King, my deck's built towards going first. So Neko Main King, it's perfect. You get your fusion graph out, change the opponent's card effect to your opponent discards 1, discard this, and it instantly comes the opponent's end phase. Really good, especially because with all the test hands I've done, I always saw this in my end turn hand. So that's a really good card to have, but only a 1 of, because 3 is 2 or 3 would be too bricky. And now for the spells. My main deck has no traps whatsoever because it's mostly built towards going for the gates. We have 3 gates. You gotta play 3 gates. If you play 2, what are you doing? You're just losing. You're losing hand loop. You're not able to turbo as much. You could play the Black Wings of Foros. I can show them to you right now. I have them over here. Never mind, he's not over there. There he is. Black Wings Zephyros. You could play this card, and then if he's discarded by anything, aka Danger or a Dark World effect, bounce your gates back to hand, play him from grave, level 4 for good for rank 4s. But if you do play him, I would recommend maybe replacing the Neko Main King or the 3rd Grapha. I don't really think I need 3 Grapha, but I keep the 3 Grapha in just in case. If I were to replace something in the deck, I'd probably replace a Grapha with this, because this basically gives you a 4th Gates, because Gates is not a hard once per turn. Next for the spells, I have 1 Archives and 1 Accession. 1 Accession, because you can always add it back to hand, but you can only activate 1 per turn, meaning that fusion summoning twice isn't really an option, and this is also a hard once per turn. And then Archives, because it gives you an extra draw 2 and extra discard. Then for the 1 of spells, last 2, I have 1 Upstart Goblin, free draw, and card destruction. Discard your entire hand, get all your effects, and draw a completely new hand. And yeah, that's the end of the main deck. No traps in the main deck, because there's no point in having them there. Now for the extra deck. So in the extra deck, I have 2 Grapha, Fusion, Dragon Overlord of Darkworld. He can change any of your opponent's card effects of a normal spell or trap or a monster effect to read your opponent discards 1 card, discard Neko Main King, it's your opponent's end phase. Then I play 1 Boral Sword. I play the Boral Sword in place of a card I don't have, of which name I cannot remember right now. I play Nightmare Unicorn and Phoenix. I play these because I don't have all the cards for the extra deck that I need, but they still work pretty well. I play the Beat Cop from the Underworld. More of a going second option, I think, because, yeah, it just adds counters to stuff. So probably more of like a going second option. I play the 1 Apollosa for obvious reasons. Any deck can play it. 2+ monsters with different names except tokens. Once per chain negate. Underworld Goddess, basically a kaiju, but a link monster. Because summoning condition, not in effect. You just get rid of any monster your opponent has, but only 1 of them. Then I play 2 Saryuja. I have had cases where I actually use both of these in the same turn because the draw effect is not a hard once per turn. The card just reads, this card gains effects based on the number of materials used for its link summon. There's nothing on this card saying that the draw effect is once per turn. The special summon effect is soft once per turn. And the gain attack and defense thing is just an always, no matter what link someone's pointing to. So using both of these in 1 turn has gotten me pretty far. That wraps up the link and fusion. Now for the XCs. I play the Baguska. I play Abyss Dweller, probably best card to have in this format. I play a Zombie Stein and a Hope Harbinger. Zombie Stein's Monster Negate Hope Harbinger, spell negate. Any monster except Link, negate. While in defense mode. If it's in attack mode, it can't be targeted, stuff like that. Then I play a Crooked Cook. He is, right now, he's just in the place of like a Gaga Cowboy, because I haven't gotten my Cowboy yet. Cowboy is going to be for game 3, where you need that little bit of burn damage just to win the match. I might keep him in here and instead replace like the Beat Cop from the Underworld with Gaga Cowboy. But yeah, Crooked Cook, he's also pretty good if you have nothing else on board, because no card effects. And then, yeah, he just gains a massive attack boost. And then I am going to show you my side deck. For my side, I have 1 Eradicator, 1 Full Force Virus, triple Deck Devastation Virus. Now, I would recommend playing 3 Eradicator, especially against stuff like Tears, because spells, just call spells. Full Force Virus is the same thing as Deck Devastation Virus, except instead of attack, it uses defense. Basically, with this, you need 2,500, you need 2,000 or more defense, so Nessie, Danger Nessie, you literally distribute Danger Nessie and you hit everything with 1,500 less defense. So Tri-Brigade Melfi, you hit basically, you hit every Melfi with this. Some sprites, actually. Deck Devastation Virus because, well, you know why. Next up, I have triple Droll Mockbird, a hand trap that I've seen nobody playing recently. It's basically just, like, if they're going to add something to their hand, nope. Just nope. Droll Mockbird. I'm going to put these back in order. Next, I have Mask Change 2, and to go with that, Darklaw. Darklaw, he's not in the main deck because the way that I have it set up right now, Mask Change isn't going to be good unless playing against Tears, because this banishes everything that goes to their graveyard. But Abyss Dweller is also pretty good against Tears, so basically, this is just in here in case I need it for the Tears. So it's a side for game 2, game 3. Then I play 2 Beginning of the End in the side deck in case I need something, in case I'm getting bored and I just need to get through the game quicker. Use this, draw 3 cards by banishing 5. And then 3 Skill Drain for monster effect heavy decks. And yeah, that's the end of the deck profile. But now I will show you a couple test hands. I'll probably do 2. Just gonna cut all this out. Yeah, the way I have this set up, it's a little bit zoomed in, so I'll try and do this to the best of my ability. Good. What has been probably seconds for you has been a couple minutes of me just shuffling the deck, making sure everything's all mixed up and nice. Power shuffled it twice, and I'll just cut there. So I'm obviously going to go first because, like I said, this deck is built for going first. And let's see what I got. I got Grapha, Genta, Accession, Upstart Goblin, and Archives. I'll start off by activating the Archives and then the Upstart Goblin. The Upstart Goblin will give them life points, but I draw a card. Mothman, perfect. So now I'm going to activate the effect of Genta. Discard to search. And then the timing on this always confuses me, but I'm going to chain the Archives, which will let me discard the Grapha and draw 2 more cards. Perfect. So then I still have 5 cards in hand. It's perfect. Activate the gates. I'll put it up here so you can see it. And then activate the effect, banishing Genta for cost, discarding the Rainbow, draw a card, another Grapha. See, this is why I would cut this down to 2, because I've already seen 2 Graphas in my beginning hand. But Chainlink 1, I will use Rainbow. Chainlink 2 will be Genta, so that I can chain block my Rainbow. So Genta will summon himself, and then Rainbow will search a level 5 or higher Dark World, just going to separate these out throughout the deck. In that case, it'll be a Silva. Probably wondering why I moved the Thunderbird, just so I can mix this up more. It's going to be shuffled anyways. Okay, shuffled. Now I have all these in hand. I would then activate the effect of... No, you know what? I would bounce Genta to hand, summon Rainbow, bounce Rainbow to hand, summon Grapha. Now I have 7 cards in hand, and then I would discard Genta again, because Genta is not a hard once per turn. Add Gates. I'm still at 7 cards in hand. See, this is why this deck is so amazing. I've been able to consistently put out like at least 4 negates. I would activate my second Gates, so I'll just put that there. Activate the effect of Gates, discard, banishing my Genta for cost. In this case, I will discard... I'll discard the Silva. You'll see why in a second. And then I draw a card. I got another Silva. Silva will summon himself. And then I would activate a Session. I'd use that with my Grapha, discarding Grapha, and then I've already hit 2 Graphas, so discarding Rainbow would not be a good choice here, because then I'd have to search my 3rd Grapha, and that would lead to a bunch of trouble. I'll discard my Brow. Now, getting out my Fusion card, Overlord, Dragon King Overlord, Dark Politician will go. I would chain Brow's effect. When discarded, draw a card. I hit a Thunderbird. And now, because a Session is in grave, I can activate that effect to discard my Silva and add a Session back to hand, getting my Silva on the board. Then bounce... No. I'm going to use Mothman here. Yes, I will do the random dice thing, and I'm going to be honest, I probably should have discarded the Rainbow so that I could get that different name on board. But there's the 4. We're going to go this way, 5 and 6 reroll. That is a 3. So it hit Thunderbird. Thunderbird would pop a set card, but there's no set card on field. So I'll summon my Mothman over here. You can't see it because the camera doesn't reach over there. And then I draw a card. Tsushinoko. Dropping my cards. So I don't have 4 different names on board because I have 2 Silva. So it's a misplay on my part. But I'm pretty sure I can get to a different name. Or not. This is, this is why you shouldn't go based off nothing. So in this case, this is why I have link 2s. I would link those 2 into Beat Cop, just so that I can get a different name on board. I would activate Tsushinoko. And no matter what, I'm getting a 4th name on board. That's a 4. It was 1, 2, 3, 4. So middle. Hit Rainbow. So I get Tsushinoko's effect, summon, draw, Rainbow's effect to search. It will have to be a Grapha because I don't have a different level 5 or higher in here because I only play 2 Silva and I used both Silvas already. So now here's where the cool part comes in. Because I made Beat Cop, I now have 4 different names on board. Because I have 4 names on board, I can link into my first Saryuja. Saryuja's effect, draw 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put 3 back in the deck. I already have 2 Graphas in grave. I don't need another Grapha. Chupacabra is basically a brick at this point. I already have a Fusion on board, so a Session was already used. Put those 3 at the bottom of the deck. Now activate my 3rd Gates. Banish for cost. In this case, that will be any Fiend. So I'll banish my Brow. In this case, I'd want to discard my Brow because I know I don't have any more level 5 or higher for Rainbow. So discard Brow, draw a card. Then browse effect will chain. I draw another card. Activate Nessie. Actually, no, that wasn't the best option. Let's say I activated Bigfoot. 2, this one. It hit a Bigfoot. Oh boy. Okay, well Nessie gets, no, Nessie wouldn't get summoned because I didn't activate Nessie. Yeah. Now activate Nessie. I can just cut this out. Bigfoot had gotten hit, so that would summon. I would draw a card. Activate Mothman. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5. Hit my rainbow. I know rainbow doesn't have a target, so I won't attempt to activate that effect. Draw a card. Neko Main King. Now, in this case, I don't actually have many routes to go because I already used most of my stuff. So we're going to go to the second hand. This would basically have to be my end board because I can't make Napalosa. So yeah, I just got a bad hand there. This hand. It's still not great, but it'll do. Jackalope. This way. 3, middle card. Hit my Bigfoot. Jackalope will get summoned. Bigfoot has nothing to pop, so I draw a card. Grapha. Okay, so activate Chupacabra. Actually, kind of hoping I hit the Accession here or one of my 2 Dark Worlds. 5, that's a reroll. 2. I actually hit the Chupacabra. He summons any from graveyard. So Bigfoot. In this case, I just have to fire off the Accession now, fusing them into the Grapha Overlord, and then Brow would let me draw a card. Gates. Okay, yeah, that was a really bad hand. Okay, cut that one out. This is the risk you run with Danger Darkworld. You can get really good draws, you can get really good hands, but apparently whenever I'm recording, I can't get the really good combos that lead me to Apollosa plus Grapha plus Hope Harbinger or Zombie Stein, depends on what deck the opponent's playing. But in reality, I suppose that's just true with anything. You do better when you're alone. Okay, let's try this one. And I hate this. Okay, Nessie. Activate Nessie, because if it does get sniped, well, first off, it's a level 7, so if it does get sniped, then you get to search any danger anyways. 4, I always go this way when I'm doing this. Hit the snow. That's actually perfect. Now, depending on the draw off Nessie, okay, that's Brow. So the snow's effect would chain. Now, some people would say go for gates, but don't go for gates. What you should do, oh, now I see why I kept bricking so much. Everything's all together. What you should do is go for a Genta. And then I'm not going to shuffle that because I just discard Genta. To then search the gates. It's deck thinning, and you're going to get at least 2 gates out of it. Because when you activate gates, use it to banish the Genta you just discarded. In this case, discard the Brow, draw a card. Chainlink 1 Brow, chainlink 2 Genta, Genta summons. You draw a card off Brow. And now, because I drew the Grapha, actually that was a really lucky draw, I shouldn't have done that. Activate Accession, discard Grapha and Rainbow, and then this will go to the graveyard, but you get out your Overlord over here. You get the Overlord over here. So that's how you're going to get on board. So then Chainlink 1 rainbow, chain link 2 accession, I believe. Yeah. Discard the beige to add a session back to hand. And then you get the search off rainbow, in this case being a Silva. I actually haven't gotten to show a hand loop yet because I haven't drew any Ceruleans. But then beige will summon, bounce your Genta back, summon the rainbow, bounce your rainbow, summon Grapha. So that's 4 bodies on board so far. Discard your Genta. By discarding your Genta, you get your other gates. Activate the gates. Banish your Genta again, because you're not going to need it because you can't get it back to hand now. Discard your rainbow or your Silva. In this case, I will be doing Silva and drawing a card. I got Upstart Goblin, pretty good. Now Silva will summon himself, and because you have 4 different names on board, Grapha, Nessie, Silva, and Beige, you get your link summon into Saryuja, where you get your draw 4, put 3 at the bottom of the deck. I will be doing Salamander. Ooh, this is a hard choice, actually. Thunderbird. And a Session, because I already activated a Session this turn, so it's useless. Now I'll activate the Upstart Goblin and try and get that extra card I need. I got Archives. Activate the Archives. Activate Card Destruction, discarding all 3 of these. So then you're going to get the effects of all 3 of these. Do Chain Link 1 Mothman, because you want that to resolve last. Chain Link 2 Jackalope. Chain Link 3 Rainbow. But first you draw your 3 cards. And then I think after these resolve, you can use this because you discarded Rainbow. So Rainbow effect activates first. Look for Grapha. And then Jackalope will activate, summoning any danger from deck. I'm going to go for a Bigfoot. And then Mothman will activate, draw 1, discard 1. And then you also get your Darkworld Archives effect after this one resolves. I already had a Grapha in hand. Oops. Draw the card, you got a Gates. Then you discard 1, Brow. And then you can activate Archives off of that because you discard your Brow. So you draw your 1, discard your Brow, and then you get to draw 3 because Brow is a discard effect, draw 1. And now you have so many resources at your disposal. Activate your 3rd Gates. Banish for cost one of your Brows, because you don't need those. Discard your Silva, draw a card. A Session. Wow, perfect. Useless card. Oh, this was supposed to be gone a while ago. Silva will summon itself, but then bounce it back to your hand to summon your Rainbow. Do you have any Graphas in grave? You don't need it, but you know what? Bounce to hand, summon Grapha. Now, you can use this to make either Hope Harbinger or Zombie Stein. In this case, I'll do Hope Harbinger. And you have so many resources in hand, it doesn't really matter. So, Chupacabra? No, Mothman's effect. You already got the discard effect of Mothman. So, if he gets hit, then he doesn't get the draw discard. But if he doesn't get hit, you get the level 4 on board. Oh my gosh. I have 8 cards in hand. Good thing I have an 8-sided dice. So we'll go this way. 7. This one. Snipe my Rainbow. Rainbow's discard effect, I think, can resolve. Let me check. It can't resolve, so there's no target. But you still get your Mothman on board. Draw your card. Perfect. So now you activate Bigfoot's effect. I think you're still at How many cards do you have? 7. This way, 8's reroll. 8. 4. 4 right here. Thunderbird. Snipe my bird, man. Okay, you get your Bigfoot out. You draw a card. Salamander Catalyzer. Now, you could risk the Chupacabra. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to activate Salamander Catalyzer, discarding a Grapha, summoning Salamander Catalyzer. Now, I have 5 monsters down here, 1 up here, so link these 4. If you want to risk going for more, you could link into your second Saryuja, but because I want to play it safe, I'm going to go for Apollosa, and because I use 4 materials, she gets 4 negates. Once per chain negates. Now I'm going to activate Chupacabra's effect, go for a little bit of a cheeky play. Just try and extend this a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3. Hit a Grapha. Get Chupacabra on board, draw a card. Ooh. That would have been interesting. You could have extended probably a little bit more. But, yeah, with this board, you have a spell negate with Hope Harbinger, an extra defense body on board, normal spell trap or monster effect negate, and 4 once per chain negates. So that's 6 negates on this board. That is crazy. And if I had Neko Main King in hand, then this would just end my opponent's turn. This is why DNAGER DARKWORLD is insane. Because you can build boards like this, or you can brick. And in this case, I just so happened to get lucky enough to build a board like this. And it only used that much of my deck. Yeah, this is what's left of my deck. I got my Cerulei. There's my Ceruleis. Come on, man. If you do manage to draw your Cerulei and get the effect of it, always discard Silva. Unless they have 1 card in hand, then you should probably discard Grapha off of a Cerulei, because then you have a chance of hitting their monster or something to your field using it as a link material. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you understand just how crazy this deck is. I used these to simulate the RNG of an opponent rolling the dice, so I hope that helped. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this deck list. This is a 41 card deck. I would cut the Neko Main King or a 3rd Grapha, because Grapha kept coming in my hand for no reason. But yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. CORV out. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to like and subscribe.